Welcome to the West Ham Voice. Thank you for joining me for a 6foot2.co.uk roundup of all the news that relates somehow to West Ham United. So if you haven't yet become a subscriber or a member, should I say, of 6foot2.co.uk, you know where it is. Free memberships available. Go to the website. It's got so much news and information about West Ham. Well worth a visit, and you won't need to log on to or link to any other website apart from that one. Brings you all the stories under one umbrella. So what have we got for you in this weekend roundup? So let's start off with some international news. First of all, West Ham are reported to have an interest in Italian international midfielder Davide Frattesi. Frattesi is a lifelong friend of West Ham United striker Gianluca Scamacca. And in addition to playing in the national squad together, they've been teammates at Scamacca's former team, Sassuolo. In an interview held before the game against England the other day, Frattesi said that he misses his best friend since the striker signed for the London club. Frattesi went on to say, "I've missed him so much, 2 long months. It's been strange to be one far from the other as we used to live together. I've known him since we were 5 or 6 years old, sometimes to come to my place to watch games. Then our friendship became stronger throughout the years. Now we're with the national team together. Sometimes we joke about what happened in the past." Now, according to reports in Italian newspapers, Gazzetta dello Sport, both West Ham and Spurs are interested in the 23-year-old Italian midfielder. Frattesi is an excellent player in the mould very much of Conor Gallagher, who West Ham have been following throughout the summer. Given the special relationship that West Ham have forged with Italian club Sassuolo, and given Scamacca's close friendship with the player, could these be the keys to getting the player to sign for us? There is apparent interest, so let's see how that develops. Next up, our own Declan Rice seems to no longer be the #1 transfer target for Chelsea, according to some reports. After the departures of Frank Lampard and Marina Granovskaya, journalist Paul Brown has told Give Me Sport that Chelsea may now turn their attention to other players who can play in similar defensive midfield roles. As we know, Declan has been a Chelsea fan, a lifelong Chelsea fan he was in the youth academy system, and many believe that his next destination when he does leave, if he does leave West Ham, would be Chelsea. But is that now likely? Brown said that despite Declan, there being an interest in Declan, it came mainly from Lampard and Granovskaya when they were both there at Chelsea. Now that they've left, maybe the interest in the West Ham midfielder may no longer be as strong as it once was. With Graham Potter now the manager at Chelsea, it'd be interesting to see whether he has the same desire to bring as Lampard and Granovskaya to bring Declan to West London or not. However, according to Paul Merson, he believes that Chelsea don't necessarily need Rice in their team because they simply have Jorginho. Merson said in Sports Skeeter column, Jorginho first joined Chelsea midfield, and he got a lot of stick when he first arrived. That said, over the years, he's played regularly under every manager at the club, which simply doesn't happen if you're not a good footballer. He said that Jorginho is very different to English midfielders, who he described the English midfielders as the work rate, hustle and bustle, and moving at 100 miles an hour. Whereas he's likened Jorginho to be a more refined footballer, very much underrated footballer that brings a lot to the Premier League. I don't know. He's almost said, well, not almost said, Paul Merson has suggested that Jorginho is a better midfielder to Declan Rice. But I would say that they're very different midfielders and they both bring something to the table. However, if Chelsea don't need Declan, we know we can continue using him at West Ham. Another pundit has talked about Declan Rice's position in the England squad, or in the England team, should I say. And he wants Gareth Southgate to start using Declan Rice in a back four. He wants him to be moved to a back four. Rice, as we know, played in the 1-0 defeat against Italy the other day. He won his 33rd cap. But it was the back line that Declan Rice made his name for himself at West Ham in the 17-18 season. However, he's since moved and developed into one of the finest midfielders in the country. Cascarino talked to Talk Sport and said the best way for England to play in a four at the back is really to put a player that can actually do that with it, play that position blindfolded. And he said that it would be absolutely ideal to play Declan Rice in a back four alongside someone like John Stone. So rather than continuing with the back three that Southgate has deployed, he would like to see Declan Rice in the back four. And he's alluding to the fact that certain players in the England current squad are not suited to playing in a back four. Whether Southgate actually opts to play Declan Rice in the back four, I think is highly unlikely, to be honest with you. He brings a lot to the midfield, and it's understandable that some pundits may see Declan Rice as being an excellent player in the back four, but I'm not so sure that will happen soon. Sticking with internationals, Thilo Kehrer is likely to return to the German lineup in the game against England on Monday night at Wembley Stadium. Kehrer was a second half substitute in the game against Hungary on Friday, where Germany lost 1-0. With Antonio Rudiger suspended for the England game, Kehrer is likely to start alongside Niklas Süle in the heart of the German defence. Kehrer is likely to play on the left side of central defence and could face teammate Jared Bowen, who was an unused sub in the 1-0 defeat against Italy. With Declan Rice likely to keep his place, there could be up to 3 West Ham players on the pitch in the final group game of this Nations League. Emerson Palmieri and Gianluca Scamacca are both likely to be in the starting lineup against Hungary in the final group game in the UEFA Nations League on Monday night. The game will be held at the Puskás Stadium, with both teams having won their last games against England and Germany, respectively. Scamacca started the game against England and is likely to keep his place alongside former Sassuolo teammate Giacomo Raspadori, who scored the winning goal against England. Emerson came on as a late sub, but is likely to replace Federico Di Marco, who probably was the man of the match for Italy against England the other night. However, coach Roberto Mancini may revert to a 3-5-2 formation, allowing Emerson to play on the left-sided wing back in place of Di Marco. Lucas Paquetá was in the Brazil team, who beat Ghana 3-0 in a friendly played in France. From reports, Paquetá didn't exactly have the best of games, but was certainly a presence in the win. Maxwell Cornet picked up his 29th cap for the Ivory Coast, playing just over an hour in the 2-1 international friendly win against Togo. Elsewhere, Vladimir Coufal and Thomas Souček were on the wrong side of a 4-0 defeat against Portugal in the UEFA Nations League. Souček and Coufal both started in the game, but 2 goals from Man United's fullback Diogo Dalot and striker Bruno Fernandes, as well as Liverpool forward Diogo Jota, put paid to Czech Republic's campaign. Czech Republic captain Souček made his 52nd appearance for his country, but was substituted with 13 minutes to play, with Coufal playing the full 90 minutes. Souček was criticised for his performance, with one Czech newspaper, Blesk, writing, "Unfortunately, it's become clear that Souček is not well at West Ham. He didn't seal the midfield in the middle of the park. He lacked energy, and he seems to have completely lost his shine." Seems that his current form is moving from not only from domestic football to international football as well. Next up, some under-19s and academy and former academy players were in international action. Former West Ham Academy player Sonny Perkins was the star of the England 19s team, who beat Georgia 6-0 on Saturday. England faced Georgia in the UEFA Under-19s Championship qualification, and they got off to an emphatic start, with Perkins grabbing his first goal inside 9 minutes. On the 19th, he converted a penalty, and then he grabbed his hat-trick on the 33rd minute with a near-post finish. Now, look, none of this suggests that Perkins will become a top-flight Premier League striker, but a lot of fans will allude to the fact that maybe we've let another talented youngster leave the club. But having said that, in the same under-19s team, we had our own current academy striker on the bench, Divine Umbama, who is a prolific goal scorer and at the age of 17 has just been promoted to the England under-19 squad. So this means that England go into Tuesday's game with Denmark just one goal ahead of the Danes, with both teams now on 6 points and guaranteed qualification into the elite round of that competition. Michael Forbes captained the Northern Ireland under-19s team, who battled their way to a goalless draw against the Netherlands. Patrick Kelly and Callum Marshall both came off the bench, but were unable to record a victory for the under-19s in their group game in the 2022-23 UEFA European Under-19 Championship qualifying round. Next up is regards to Agerd. Naif Agerd was talked about on the 90 Minutes Talking Transfers podcast by Toby Cudworth. He said, it looks like Agerd is ahead of schedule and is recovering well. We might not see him before the World Cup, but his injury is progressing quite nicely. There's an awful lot of talk about whether Agerd is going to be back before or after the World Cup. And many have suggested that he might likely make the World Cup this side of the World Cup. So we might see him because Morocco are in the finals, and Agerd would like to at least be able to be back in time and fit enough to be considered for the Moroccan squad. Next up, Nikola Vlasic has been talking about his loan move to Torino and has claimed that he feels free and trusted again. In what could be seen as a bit of a damning indictment on David Moyes and his approach to some players, in an interview with La Stampa, Vlasic said, "There's a huge difference mentally for me between my time at West Ham and my time at Torino. I feel reborn in Italy. I feel free again. Everything is going well at Torino. I'm working hard. I'm there. I know there's a lot to do, but I'm sure I'll benefit from this in the future. What counts is the most is to play consistently, which is what I'm doing here. I feel trusted from everyone, and there is nothing I can complain about." Many fans will regard these comments from Vlasic as further proof that Moyes is unable to use creative attacking players in the best way, and this will worry fans in the as this particular season progresses, with the likes of Scamacca, with the likes of Paquetá, and with the likes of Maxwell Cornet at the club now. It doesn't look like Vlasic will want to return to West Ham when his loan spell ends. Next up are also comments given by Ajibola Olise, who recently left West Ham in a 3.5-year deal to Sunderland. The former academy player has talked about his time at Sunderland and about the young squad, which are gelling well as a group following the arrival of new players and new head coach Tony Mowbray. Asked what Mowbray has said to him before receiving his opportunity, Olise told the Sunderland Echo, "I can't remember exactly what it was that he said, but he said along the lines that if we go out there and play our game, he knows I'm a good lad, he knows I'm a good player, and just to go out there and enjoy myself is what he said. He's good with all the lads, and if you're left out, he will put an arm around you and have a chat with you, which makes it easy to get along with him." Is this another indication that the different management styles that perhaps Moyes has, which doesn't seem to encourage some players who are supposed to be, if they're not seemingly in the clique at West Ham United? Olise has taken his chance at Sunderland and is proving to be an excellent defender there. Whereas at West Ham, Olise never really got the chance to develop even when we were woefully short of central defenders down to injury. Olise was still not being picked for to play. You make your own minds up. That's it. Very brief, very thorough. And if, like I said, if you have yet to become a member of 6foot2.co.uk website, please go on that site and do so. Plenty of other stories available to you there. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all very soon.